one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2-3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
You view this season as a failure?
Oh my God. Okay, because I'm not that up. You asked me the same question last year, Eric. Okay. Do you get the promotion every year on your job? No, right? So every year you work is a failure. Yes or no? No. Every year you work towards something, towards a goal, right? Which is to get a promotion, to be able to take care of your family, to be able, I don't know, provide the house for them or take care of your parents. You work towards a goal. It's not a failure. It's steps to success.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps cause they know what happens next. So without further ado,
Free smoke.
look, scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much or how you doing what it meant to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa Bars forever, like they decided to throw me under Slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop a million songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our block, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.
Cashing in, say, the way Liv did, well, that's like winning the lottery, isn't it? And I don't need to win the lottery because I work my ass off every week for a paycheck.
Another week. You know what? I don't even think that Taylor Swift is clout chasing no more, bro. It's the NFL. Bruh, have some decency, bruh. Y'all the NFL. And y'all dick sucking Taylor Swift like this, bruh. Can't even watch a game because y'all keep wanting to put the camera on Taylor Swift, bruh. It's ridiculous. Jesus. If Beyonce come to a game, the fucking camera better be panning on Beyonce the whole fucking game. I mean, this is ridiculous. Now, somebody gonna be like, bro, this dude ain't so racist. Maybe. No, I'm just fucking with you. I fuck with Taylor Swift. But, bro, I don't watch a football game to watch Taylor Swift, bro. But we are here. Week 4. Well, it's not necessarily the entire week 4 recap because we got to watch Monday Night Football. But we almost there. Now, I just want to go ahead and I forgot to talk about the records last week. They gonna pop up on the screen though. You're gonna see what our records was last week and this week. I just want y'all to know Henry had a great week. Without this game on Monday, because we don't know the outcome of that yet, even though I'm pretty sure he gonna lose that one. Henry is 9-4. Henry will be over 500 regardless this week. A good little bit over 500. But let me talk to you, Henry. I told you I was finna go on a heater, my boy. I was 11-2, and I can end up being 12-2 after the Monday night game, bruh. I told you, I'm on one right now. Thank God I changed that Tampa Bay New Orleans pick to Tampa Bay. Thank God. If you watched the video and you saw that screen where it had our picks, I didn't change those picks, even though I was telling you something different in the video, because I had already made the slides for the show. So I didn't have the time to go back, remake the slides and all that type of stuff. Because it's not just like going in and a little edit here and there. It's like going in, having to redo the whole fucking slide sometimes. You put it through another thing to put the filters and all that type of stuff on the slides, and then put it through another thing to make sure everything is good on it. It's a little process. It's not hard, but it's time consuming, especially when you upload. Bro, I just couldn't go back and fix it. I'm just putting it like that. But I'm glad I had said in the video that I was feeling Tampa Bay was going to win that game, because I truly was feeling Tampa Bay was going to win that game, and they won that game. I told you, bro, I got no faith in Derek Carr. I like Derek Carr, the human being, but Derek Carr, the quarterback, I've never seen a quarterback that play down at a competition more than Derek Carr, at least in recent memory at the moment. For a quarterback that people love to talk about like he this good and he do this and he got done dirty and yada, 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 he sure do love playing down to the competition. Listen, if I get on here and tell you that Baker midfield is better than somebody, or if I get on here and tell you I would take Baker midfield over somebody, you need to really take a look at the other quarterback I'm talking about, because I do not just get on here and take Baker midfield for no reason. Now, I will say one of Henry's L's was that Browns game. Deshaun Watson didn't play, even though he was cleared to play. He didn't end up playing. I feel kind of bad for Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski done been dealt a shit hand in Cleveland, and I understand that's just how this thing goes a lot of the times. But Kevin Stefanski, and he ain't been perfect, but this is crazy. And then people blaming Kevin Stefanski for the Baker thing. Baker has been better in Tampa Bay, but y'all not watching these games if you just going off of the record saying, oh, they shouldn't have got rid of Baker. Baker's not playing like some Pro Bowl quarterback. He done been decent, but Baker got a lot of weapons over there like he had in Cleveland. So I'm not understanding how Cleveland's fault that Baker couldn't have any success with his weapons when you look at those tapes and it wasn't just on Cleveland, it was on Baker. He had a great run game, great receivers. Like, come on now, stop it. If anything, this is, and I don't know, people like to blame the organizations for stuff, bro. I'm at the point where that's just kind of annoying. I understand if you want to give them some blame because the history of what they've gone through or whatever, but I don't know, man. It's kind of like the Justin Fields thing. But anyways, let's get into these games, bro. First off, we had the 9 in the morning game, London. I did not watch that game. I went back and watched it. I was knocked out when that game took place. I hate it when they put the Ravens on these games, because when they do, I do usually watch it. But I'm telling you right now, based off of my work schedule right now and all the stuff I am not watching us play at 9 in the fucking morning. It's just no shot. If I'm up at 9 something in the morning watching us play, that means I'm going to be asleep all day just off of how my schedule works. So it's just no shot. But the Jacksonville Jaguars, hold up. Hey, Henry might actually be 9-5. I cannot remember if he took Jacksonville or Atlanta. I don't got it written down, but you're going to know when I do my other video. But I'm almost certain that he picked the Atlanta Falcons. I took Jacksonville because I felt like Jacksonville, I told you, when it's come down to a game like this where two teams to me is damn near evenly matched, I have to go with the quarterback. And that's why I ended up going with Trevor Lawrence, because there's no way on God's green earth I'm taking Desmond Ridder. That's one of them you just going to have to prove me wrong type things. And that's exactly what happened. Listen, happy for Calvin Ridley. He had a good game against his former team. My problem with the Jags still remains. I feel like Trevor Lawrence, it's not necessarily a problem. It's just Trevor Lawrence ain't where we want him to be yet. So they're going to have times where they just look inconsistent. They look bad and all that. But I'm glad they figured it out in this game. Atlanta. Boy. The team that went all out for Deshaun Watson but would not go after Lamar Jackson. Very interesting to me. I don't feel bad for Atlanta. Teams that could have went out and went all out for Lamar Jackson, a franchise quarterback, a dude that's legitimately proven to be a franchise quarterback. it's interesting to me that that's the guy who nobody wanted to go for, but you went after Deshaun Watson. Even in Deshaun, at the time of going after Deshaun Watson, he wasn't more accomplished than Lamar Jackson. But they went all out for him and not for Lamar. So I never feel bad when the Falcons lose games because they just don't have a good quarterback. I would fire Arthur Smith. I would get rid of Desmond Ridder. I would fire the GM. I would also sell the team if I was the owner. That's how I'm feeling about Atlanta right now. But that's just me. I don't like Atlanta, the Falcons. And it's not a lot of teams that I just don't like. I just don't like Atlanta. For the reasons of they cost my boy, the biggest reason being they cost my boy a Super Bowl. Now, truly, this disdain should be at Matt Ryan and Kyle Shanahan. But when Julio walked out of that Super Bowl without a ring, I knew from that day forward, I was never rooting for the Atlanta Falcons ever again. However, Bijan Robinson has been as advertised, but we are now in an NFL where a great running back or a running back coming in being great for you does not mean shit when your offense is as incompetent as the Falcons offense is. And to me, when you have teams who legitimately survive off of just being able to run the ball, that tells me that you just an injury or a good defense away from being an ass on offense. Something else that's interesting to me. I really think we should reinterpret these defensive rankings. I really do. Because I said it last week and when I was talking about some of the games. It's hard to predict games, some of these games off of like saying the defense should show up. Because that defense might have showed up against bad teams, but against a good team, I don't know how they're going to look. This is what my problem was last year when everybody kept praising the Steelers, how they ended the season. They was losing the good teams in the start of the season, beat the bad teams and the compromised teams at the end of the season, and all of a sudden the media started praising the Steelers. The white analysts in the media and the Pittsburgh fans love to get on there and tell you Kenny Pickett was anything more than average last year. And you want to know what's crazy? It's some white dudes who actually hope that's been parading around telling people to fire Mike Tomlin for like a couple years now. And a lot of people will call those dudes racist. I agree with those dudes, not the ones who call them racist. I agree with those dudes because what has happened to me looking at Pittsburgh, and I haven't even told you the Pittsburgh score and all that yet. I'm just going over some thoughts in my head. What I've seen from Pittsburgh is the exact reason I told you they would finish last in this division this year. Because for one, Kenny Pickett's not a game-changing quarterback. He got a lot of good talent around him that don't even change the game still to have you have some greater than record. So you got game changers on the outside, but not game changers on the outside. You got the game changers that'll make your boy look better, but you ain't got a Tyreek Hill that can actually swift the entire game yet. On the defensive side of the ball, you do. However, when you go into a season and the media so very clearly is over, and that's my problem with the media. They overhype these teams, and it's people who actually look at them expecting them to inform them. And when they say certain shit, fans will walk away believing that. And so now you got a lot of moronic fans walking around saying Kenny Pickett better than Lamar Jackson. That's just asinine. So what my problem with the Steelers remains, bro, if you have to go into every single week guessing, hoping, wondering what will the defense be? What will our offense look like? It's no shot I'm taking you against certain teams. It's just no way. Now, and it's no way that team gonna be successful. I said it about Pittsburgh. I said it about the Patriots. I done said it about a lot of teams, and we're gonna get to it. But since we own Pittsburgh, this was a game that I ended up being incorrect about, and I'm not feeling too bad about it because I actually wanted to pick Houston, and I even told you I wanted to pick Houston. But it's just a lot of things I haven't seen from Houston's offense. Of course, yesterday they actually did everything that I wanted to see them do. Dameon Pierce had a good game. I like CJ Stroud so far this season, but like I said, I can't really lean. I'm not going to tell you he bad, but I'm not going to overhype him or nothing like that yet. I don't want to do that. I'm still figuring it out as I'm watching him. I know some people can watch a quarterback and immediately be like, oh yeah, that's great. But I'm not like that. I really be watching these quarterbacks trying to determine if they were playing like this in a different situation. It's a lot of things that go into me when I watch a quarterback that lets me know That's why I done been damn near accurate on everything I done said about the quarterbacks on these shows. Like, you might not like some of the things I say about some of these quarterbacks. You might not agree with it. But at the end of the day, when the evidence shows me that I am wrong, or the outcomes show me that I'm wrong, which I don't really like waiting on outcomes. I feel like somebody that's great at what they do can predict the outcome, not 100%, but they can get damn near close to it all the time without having like crazy information and whatnot. Watching CJ Stroud, I think he good, but I got to still see more. I don't completely know yet. The league don't have film on CJ Stroud. So I might think at the end of the season, I'm going to definitely know how I feel about him. Next year is when I'm going to really know how I feel about him. I think people want to jump to conclusions on quarterbacks and wanting to be right about them and things like that. And I think truly what you do is a disservice to these quarterbacks because, listen, Kenny Pickett's not a good quarterback. I don't know who need to hear this. Kenny Pickett's not a good quarterback, which is why I told you I'm picking Pittsburgh because of the defense, not because of the offense. But I'm so happy that Houston did what they did and ended up winning this game 30-6. I have not, it's a lot of games I'm happy about being wrong about, but I'm glad I was wrong about this one because Pittsburgh losing, I'm only going to be happy about that. But two, it continued to show me, Pittsburgh is probably worse than I even think. Like that little bit of respect that I got for Pittsburgh, well, it's not a little bit of respect, it's a lot of respect, but the respect that I have for Pittsburgh in my head is probably what's keeping me from knocking them off a cliff, even though every time I get on here, I legitimately tell you they fucking suck on offense. And I understand, listen, you want to blame Canada? I tell you, it's not just on Canada. However, Pittsburgh offense is just not good enough. And they have weapons. They have pieces. They ain't got a quarterback. They don't have a good enough line. I think one of Pittsburgh's biggest problems was drafting Najee Harris because he has not developed into the running back that can carry the Pittsburgh offense. I could make an argument. James Conner was better for the Steelers than Najee. And I understand it's a lot. I'm a Najee fan myself. I'm trying to find something. I'm a Najee fan myself because I'm an Alabama fan until I'm not an Alabama fan right now. I rock with Colorado right now. Full-on Colorado fan. We rock with Colorado hard, bro. Coach Prime, Colorado. We go where he go, bro. When he was at Jackson State, I'm fucking with Jackson State. He at Oregon. He at Colorado. Damn it, I'm a Buffalo too, goddamn. I like that black and purple, though. Bro, have y'all ever looked at them? That shit tough. That darkish color, the black tones with the golds and stuff. I love that, bro. Boulder look tough. I ain't gonna lie. They locker room look tough. They need to get, I think they have had them. It's a show that I be watching on YouTube where this dude go around and look at all the colleges. Like, he done went to a lot of big colleges and looked at different aspects of their pro athletic programs. Like, he'll go to the baseball department, or I wish I remember what it was called. They just go, it's so tough, bro. They go around looking at like these multi-million-dollar facilities for these athletes that they use to get their athletes up to. It's tough. Y'all should watch it. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna remember. I think it's called Sports Dissect, and it's not called that. Actually, matter of fact, as I'm talking to you, I'm gonna find it. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna find it. But while I'm finding that, I said it in the offseason. Pittsburgh is not winning this division off of getting lucky, hoping every other team in the division play bad, and that your defense just play otherworldly all year. That's just not how it works, bro. And I'm sick and tired of people getting on TV and acting as if that's all that have to happen, or that having to happen is not a problem. Greeny is a very smart individual, and he kept telling people that the Steelers was going to win this division this year. Not off of great information and data, just off of a feeling. I just got a feeling the Steelers. That's showing you they don't watch these games, or they just don't care what they watch. Because how can you be so critical of Lamar Jackson, and I'm not just talking about Greeny, but then look at the Steelers and say, I just got a feeling. That's ignorant. It's racist too, but it's super ignorant. And y'all shouldn't be okay with that being y'all information in the sports. And I know some people might be like, bro, Saint, why do you care? Because you keep telling me that you love sports. And I already understand most of you don't. And some of you really do just love the sport, not the players or anything like that. To you, I'm not talking to you. I do not want to have a conversation with that type of person. That is very ignorant to me. However, it is people who watch these shows, bro, who want to be informed. And they're not, and it's going to sound like a dig, but they're not smart enough to dissect the stupidity on these shows from the actual information. And then, because they're not in the, they don't have firsthand information, they got to take the information they get. And if they're not somebody who listen to everything and have an open mind, they're going to believe everything with a closed mind. And that is a problem. You shouldn't be okay with that. When you talk about sports, you shouldn't be okay with constantly saying, oh, Lamar Jackson can't throw a football. That shouldn't be cool with you. Discounting Dak Prescott and black quarterbacks left and right shouldn't be fine with you. The only black quarterback you don't talk bad about is Patrick Mahomes, and that's because he done already won at the highest level, so you can't say nothing about him. But then you turn around and Joe Burrow done been bad every game this season. I ain't seen one person get on TV and tell you he can't throw the ball. And he got talent all left and right. I know T. Higgins hurt right now. He still got Boyd and Jamar out there. But I understand how this go. Because every time he lose, I don't hear about people talking about Joe Burrow and what he got to do living up to a contract. All I hear is injury, 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 injury. But if this was Lamar in the same situation, playing through injuries and losing, people would not be telling you, oh, he not healthy. People would be telling you, he just got to play better. If you want to field, you need to play better. That's what they would be telling you. They'd be calling him injury prone. Saying, did he deserve that contract? Saying, I knew this would happen to him based off of how he played. But y'all okay with this half-ass analyzing. Y'all okay with a Dan, what's this dude? Dan Hansis, who can call a Lamar army, Lamarmies, because people defend Lamar. That's because stupid niggas. That's because stupid white dudes like you can just get on TV and gloat and praise quarterbacks that's white and can throw the ball for a lot of yards left and right, but can lose and you'll have an excuse. You think I'm lying? Dan Hansis, the only thing he done said about Lamar, he very critical of Lamar Jackson, very critical of Jalen Hurts, very critical of Dak Prescott. You know who he not very critical of? Ever? Joe Burrow when he struggled. Every episode they done this year is, oh, he's hurt. I think you need to sit him down. He's hurt. He's hurt. It's never just, bro, you on the field, so play better. It's, he's hurt. He's compromised. But I done heard how the conversations go when it's a black quarterback. When it's a quarterback that ain't one of the white knights. Y'all shouldn't be okay with that. You should be calling that out. You should want better for your sports because as human beings, you should just want better in general. But y'all cool with this BS that they put on these TV screens. It's crazy to me. But let's run through these games real quick, man. Atlanta, the London game, the Toy Story game, which I will talk about that Toy Story thing in a couple. Atlanta loses 7-23. I was finna say in Jacksonville, in Andy's room. Washington was on the road in Philadelphia. It was a good game. They lose 31-34. Denver was in Chicago. They come back from down big to win 31-28. Tampa Bay was on the road in New Orleans. They pick up a win 26-29. These are all the 1:00 games, by the way. Cincinnati was in Tennessee and they got stomped out by a team that, this is what I don't understand. Football is such a beautiful sport. Tennessee wins 27-3 against Cincinnati. Last week, Tennessee barely had 200 yards of offense. I don't even think they had 190 yards of offense against a Browns team that sucked against the Steelers. So, do with that information what you will. The Rams, my Rams. Oh, it feels good to say that again. Well, I say it every week, but it feels good to say that after a dub. My Rams end up winning 29-23 in Indy. Shout out to that boy, Puka Nacua. Puka, you would be my cover for this week's Week 4 recap, but that's not going to happen. And Puka, you are my guy. I'm a Rams fan, so I can't wait till Coop Cup is out there. And I saw the stats of Puka's, what he is achieving. It's not shocking to me. Matthew Stafford is a one-read quarterback most of the time. If you give him a good receiver, he's going to throw it to that receiver. If you tell him you can only throw it to that receiver 200 times in a season, he will probably end up throwing it to that receiver 400 times in the season. Matthew Stafford is that's been my biggest problem with him his entire career. He overused his best receiver, so the offense no longer is benefiting because of a great receiver. The offense is now just that great receiver, and it just eliminate everything else in that offense. That's my problem with Matthew Stafford. A lot of people like to make excuses for Matthew Stafford and all this other type of shit, but if you was watching him in Detroit, you know he had teams in Detroit. Matthew Stafford was a problem. And to this day, I'm going to be honest. I really don't know how people watch them Detroit games and did not look at that and say, Matthew Stafford is one of the reasons this team cannot get to where it need to go. I understand he helped them win a Super Bowl, but when you go back and look at us win that Super Bowl against the Rams, would you give Matthew Stafford 50% of the credit for that? Would you? If you do, you definitely just one of them that just like white quarterbacks, bro. Honestly. But I appreciate Matt for helping my Rams get a Super Bowl. Because I got to see all my teams basically win championships in my lifetime, except for one, the Phillies. They just I keep seeing them get to the World Series. But I ain't seen them win yet. That's probably why my patience with the Phillies, while it's been greater than my patience with all my other teams, it's slimmer than my patience with all my other teams. Because I'll never say I'm not rooting for the Ravens. Unless they had to let Lamar walk. Then I would have stopped being a fan. All these years would have been cut. That would have been very easy for me. But you're never going to hear me just randomly say, oh, I don't root for the Ravens no more. I don't root for the Rams no more. I don't root for the Lakers no more. I don't root for Steph Curry no more. Because I don't root for the Warriors. I root for Steph Curry, and I love Draymond, and I love Iggy. But it's a Steph thing. Where was I going with all that? You're not going to just randomly see me not rooting for one of my squads, bro. You're not going. Where was I going with that? I can't remember where I was going with that. That's because somebody texted me as I was recording. And then my mind was doing that, reading the text, talking about something. Listen, kids, if you blow blunts, multitasking can get kind of fucked sometimes. Moving on with the games. My Rams did end up winning, though. 29-23 in Indy. Minnesota was in Carolina. They win 21-13, even though Kirk Cousins played like shit. Baltimore in Cleveland. This dude, Henry, really had the nerve to take the Cleveland Browns. I don't care that Deshaun got hurt last minute, even though they say he was cleared to play. 28-3 victory for the Baltimore Ravens against that number one defense. Miami was in Buffalo, and I told you, bro. Josh Allen was not losing this game, and he did not. 20-48 victory for the Buffalo Bills at home against Miami. Pittsburgh, we already went over that one, but we'll do it again. Pittsburgh was in Houston. They lose 6-30. The 4 p.m. games. Vegas was in L.A. to take on the Chargers. They lose 17-24 with, I can't remember their rookie who was playing his name at the moment. New England was in Dallas. It was an ass whooping. They lose 3-38. Mac Jones was benched in the second half. I'm going to get to it. Arizona was in San Fran. They lose 16-35. Christian McCaffrey has to be an MVP candidate right now. Has to be. I know I rave about Christian McCaffrey every week on these shows, basically. I don't know if I'm going to rave about him too much on this show because there's a lot of shit to get to. But consider this the moment that I'm raving about my guy, C-Mac. What a game. Multiple scores. I think he scored like 4 touchdowns. And I just love Christian McCaffrey. I always knew this would be the outcome if he went to this team. I'm so happy he ended up with a team that needed him and knew how to use him, bro. Thank God. In the Sunday night game, Kansas City, New York, the Jets end up losing that game at home 23-20. Now, I want to get to real quick. Matter of fact, let's start with the Jets real quick because this ain't going to take too long. I just want to say something about this Jets thing real quick. Not necessarily the game, but I guess I am talking about the game. Zach Wilson, who I done said people was, I basically come on here and defend Zach Wilson on the regular at this moment. I'm not defending Zach Wilson's play. I'm defending Zach Wilson as in Like, yo, he ain't the only one paid to be great, but also, like, yo, sometimes a person just not that good. You don't have to keep killing them for it, because at this point in time, the way the media goes after them is bullying. However, something very interesting happened yesterday. Zach Wilson played a decent game. Do I think he played good enough to win the game? That's up for debate based off of how bad Kansas City played. But regardless, he played a better game than he normally plays. It's very actually funny because him and Justin Fields, two dudes who I compare to each other all the time, had their best games yesterday, and they both still lost the game. However, and they both had costly turnovers at the end of these games. At the end of the game, it was a clip where Zach Wilson was like, you know, he just looked down on himself, and that's what losing all the time do to you. It could just put you in a bad funk. And that's what having the media go at you constantly can do to you when you definitely not 30, 40 years old and done dealt with this before. You just not your shit. I don't even think Zach is even 24 yet. But you can see him say to him, talking to his teammates saying, bro, it's my fault. I lost us this game. And he did lose them. I don't know if he lost in the game, but I don't even agree with him saying it's my fault I lost this game, because I don't agree with one player taking all the credit, all the blame. Because you don't like it if a player take all the credit for winning. And these players have to be humble, so they never take all the credit for winning. I don't remember the last time I heard a player take all the credit for winning, but we forced them to take all the credit for losing. That's some of the most fucked up shit I've ever seen. So I will never agree with that anyways. But yeah, I guess you can't fumble the ball in that moment. This is my problem. Now the world can see that. And so now the world want to feel bad for Zach Wilson now, instead of doing it earlier. But now, after the game, Rodney Harrison was doing his job, and now people trying to act like he just started picking on Zach Wilson, and now I'm seeing people go at him. Where was this energy with all the white boys was going at Zach Wilson on a regular basis? Joe Namath said something about him last week, and I didn't see this type of energy. Aaron Rodgers had to come. Mitch, by the way, shout out to Aaron Rodgers, because I did not say anything about this, but Aaron Rodgers, who I always dock for his leadership, he came out and said basically what I said. What the fuck does bullying Zach Wilson do for this team? And he called out the teammates like I've been calling them out. Like, bro, y'all always wearing shirts against Zach Wilson last year. Like, some of the shit that the Jets players have done against Zach Wilson has just been so ignorant for a team. I don't care what the result is, bro. Zach Wilson not going up here saying, fuck you, fuck your mama, fuck your kids, fuck your brother, fuck your sister. There's no reason for you to treat a player like that just because they don't play good. Point blank, period. And so now for the media and for players to randomly be trying to act like Rodney Harrison is the only dude doing this. Like the media don't do this on a regular basis. Where is this vitriol for Greeny? Where is this vitriol for people on the Pat McAfee show? For Shannon Sharp? For Stephen A. Smith? For every single person who goes at Zach Wilson on a regular basis. Now we're going to make this a Rodney Harrison thing. It's very funny to me that a black man can say the last thing and he get all the vitriol, but it's white dudes every day. Have you seen the New York media? So that's real funny to me that y'all want to now act like y'all care about Zach Wilson's mental and his feelings and whatnot. And I also think it's funny that now that you done chosen to be to defend Zach Wilson, you want to act like he ain't been a bad quarterback all these years. See, that's why I told y'all got to watch how y'all watch the media. I'm somebody who defends Zach Wilson against the people who go at him, but I ain't never one time defended his play, because at the end of the day, you get paid to produce. So just because people now starting to bully him, it does not mean I'm going to now lie about what I'm seeing on the field. I can tell you that Zach Wilson done played bad football, and at the same time tell you that you don't have to bully this man on a weekly basis. But for some reason, the media don't seem to think that. It's very interesting, the amount of stupidity that lives in the sports media. Something else I want to talk about, though. New England and Dallas. New England got they asses whooped. And Dallas offense really didn't look that great again. Red zone problems again, but we'll get to it. I want to talk about Mac Jones being benched, because I actually have a problem with Mac Jones being benched. I don't understand at what time are we going to hold other people accountable for doing a fucking job, bro? How is Mac Jones, a dude in his third fucking year, responsible for every little thing that has happened to Mac Jones when Justin Fields has legitimately been bad, but y'all blame everything around him? Oh, because Bill won some Super Bowls with Tom Brady. It can't possibly be Bill. This is crazy. I'm not getting on here telling you that Mac Jones is a Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, none of that. Josh Allen, none of that. And you best believe I'm going to be talking about my boy Josh Allen. But I am very confused as to how Bill Belichick just gets no blame. What he hired a defensive coordinator last year to be the OC. And I keep telling y'all, bro, you think that being a great OC is being able to call 1, 2, 3 plays. Being a great OC is being able to call a great game on a weekly basis. I know what game plan I'm coming in here with. I'm not worried about the play calling. I'm worried about the game planning, the game calling. The Patriots and Bill Belichick have let Mac Jones down at every single level. And for some reason, you got bozo Patriot players who come in and go at Mac Jones. The media go at Mac Jones. This is why I don't like Nick Wright. This is exactly why I don't not like Nick Wright. He is one of the most half-assing dudes at his job, and people let him get away with it. This is why I will always remember Katie telling Nikki, anybody can do your job, bro, because anybody can. I see no different from Nick Wright than when I'm looking at random podcasts and YouTubers who do a terrible job breaking down these games. They just done somehow been in put, and I'm never going to be jealous of somebody being put in the spotlight to be able to do what they love. But clearly they don't love doing this as much as they love making money off of it, because they are, if you truly love doing something, then you don't want to be wrong. So wrong at something that will bother you. It don't bother these dudes being wrong. And they be so wildly wrong, and it don't bother them. If you just look at some of these things on a weekly basis, it can tell you how something gonna go. But when some of these dudes analyze games, they don't know what they're doing. So when they see something go a different way, it's so wild to them. But somebody like me who sit back and actually watch what I'm watching, it's not surprising because I've been watching all year. You watched 2 games, the 2 primetime games they played on. And they didn't play like this in them 2 primetime games. So this is shocking what you seeing. Not for me. And for New England, for people to continuously let them get away with how they done Mac Jones is crazy to me. Not to mention, the 49ers might be cool now, but them not drafting Mac Jones is so ignorant based off of everything that we now know. Mac Jones would have been a better quarterback if he would drafted in another position. And I never would have thought in a million years would have thought, looking back at this many years later, that Mac Jones was actually the quarterback that got drafted in the absolute worst spot. I don't even think Fields was drafted in the worst spot. If Fields was better, he would be. It would be a better situation. But let me tell you something. Mac Jones ain't never had a DJ Moore on his team, and you know I don't think DJ Moore is a number 1 receiver. He ain't never had a DJ Moore. He ain't never had a Khalil Herbert. He ain't never had a Montgomery. He ain't never had. And I told you, Chase Claypool was an interesting one because it's not really his on the field, it's his mental. If he not zoned into the game, then you just don't know what you're going to get from him. So that's a real shame because physically and ability wise, when he was with Pittsburgh, phenomenal. Haven't seen that in so many years now though. So, but I think it's very criminal what's happened to Mac Jones. We love to talk about players wasting owners' money and yada, yada, yada. Bro, how do y'all never say nothing about how some of these owners and GMs and teams waste players' careers? They work their whole life to get to these spots. Everybody not guaranteed that golden ticket. I get it. And when I say golden ticket, I'm not talking about the opportunity to get there. I'm talking about the opportunity to get there and mean something. The opportunity to get there and matter. A lot of people can get there and make good money. A lot of people can't get there and be one of those select few that's talked about on a weekly basis. So I get it. To get the ticket is tough. To get the golden one is even rarer. To get the diamond one is even tougher. But they work their whole life to get to this moment. And when they show up, rarely do I hear people talk about how the coaches and the others around them don't do their jobs. And that's the situation Mac Jones been put in. You keep talking about his Super Bowl rings, the Super Bowl rings. I don't care about that. I keep telling y'all, bro, it's certain things that don't matter to me. Like your morality, this is a good dude. Like I said, them preachers in the Vatican is raping boys left and right on a daily basis. That don't mean nothing to me. His 7 Super Bowl rings don't mean nothing to me because those were in the past. If I'm talking about Bill Belichick's legacy, that's one thing. Now that's the thing that matters in this conversation. I ain't talking about Bill's legacy. I'm talking about right now. What is he doing now? And if we having a conversation where you telling me that them 6 rings is set him up to where it will never matter what he do from that day forward, cool. Then that just means that a white man can be average and get paid a lot of money for it and have nothing said about him. But if you're telling me that you got to update your resume, then I am very confused as to how Bill Belichick can get away with what has transpired with his ego and the Patriots. But sure, let's take the easy way out and just say Mac Jones just don't know how to play football all of a sudden. Mac Jones just garbage all of a sudden. Because I saw a quarterback that you thought the same thing about. And then when he got a OC and a coach that actually fucked with him, that wanted to see him be successful, it's been Tua time ever since. So that's interesting to me. Next thing I want to talk about, I bet you I think I'm talking about Denver and Chicago. I am not. That will be talked about on a different video because to close this show, we talking about my boy, man. Oh, and Derek Carr gonna get talked about on the next episode also. So Derek Carr and Chicago is 2 definite topics in the next show. But I have to end this talking about my guy. My guy. I told you. I got 2 favorite quarterbacks, really, in the NFL. Lamar Jackson and Josh motherfucking Allen. That's my guy. Now, I'm pretty sure Pat Mahomes is in that too. I just don't. When I love Pat Mahomes. I love watching Patty play. I absolutely love Patty play. But it's just something I get this feel when I'm watching my guys, bro. Josh and Lamar, bro. I don't know what it is. Maybe because they was in the same draft. I don't know. It feel like I'm connected to them. I love those 2 dudes. And I love Tua Tagovailoa, obviously. It was a tough game for me to watch and root because I'm never going to not root for Tua. He went to Alabama. I watched him come into that game at the halftime and take us over Georgia. So I'm always going to appreciate Tua Tagovailoa, Jalen Waddle, and Tyreek Hill is my favorite receiver in the NFL. So I got rooting interest in both teams. However, Josh Allen, man, that's my guy. And I told you, he just too good against Miami, man. I know that y'all like to listen to the media, especially the Nick Wrights of the world, telling you that Josh Allen fell off a cliff and this and that. Bro, Brett Favre did play in the NFL, and he threw a lot of motherfucking interceptions. All right? So I'm not trying to hear none of that. All I want for my boy Josh to be is consistent when it matters. I'm talking about don't turn it over, Josh, when it matters. But if I got to sacrifice a pick for 3 touchdowns when it mattered the most and we can get a dub in that, I will. I'm not somebody that's trying to hamstring Josh Allen or tie one hand behind his back or put a leash on him and say, hey, you got to play like. No, bro. I love Josh Allen. I think he is one of the best quarterbacks in football. I will easily die on the hill with Josh and Lamar better than Joe Burrow. They just show me more of individual skill, bro. I'm sorry, but off of individual talent alone, bro, them 2 motherfuckers is nasty. Mahomes, Lamar, Josh, bro. It is rare that I done seen 2-3 dudes with that type of talent, man. They are just otherworldly. Simple as that. I just get a thrill out of watching them and watching Josh Allen dice up Miami. For one, it's not shocking. I told you, Miami's defense didn't really play great in Denver. Denver just played like shit. A different team with a better competent offense would have put up about 40 on that Miami offense. And it's very funny that a team did. Hey, I'm going to be honest with you. Miami lucky that Buffalo didn't go in there and flip a 70 piece on their heads like they did last week. because it could have happened. The only reason it didn't is because they don't got multiple superstars running around on that offense. That's the only reason. But Stephon Diggs going crazy is exactly why you got 48 put on your head. See, this is the thing for me, man. This is why I picked Buffalo to win this division, even with Miami playing as great as they have. And I praise Miami. I'm going to always praise them. But I'm not stupid. I watch these games, and I watch when these two teams play against each other. And the reality is, when these two teams play, Josh Allen is just that guy. This just seemed to be a rivalry he is just great at. And it really shouldn't be a rivalry. It only is because they division opponent. They in the same division. But boy, Tua only done got one win against my guy Josh. Josh done got 5 against my guy Tua. And he looked damn near great every time. Josh only done really had one bad game against the Dolphins. That was last year. And we still could have won that game. So not only, and I don't want y'all sitting here thinking that, oh, Tua being worse than Josh is why they, no. Buffalo's defense is just way better than Miami's, bro. Miami got great names on the defense. They can have big games here or there. The reality is Buffalo's defense is far more consistent. Far more consistent. And they lose a big piece once again in Tre'Davious White, who I said if he could stay healthy, and long and behold, he immediately got hurt after that. And I feel so bad because it's a torn Achilles, so he out for another year. Even without him, they are still better. That's just a great defense. I told you, some defenses are together for so long. And when I say so long, it's hard for most teams to have units together for 3 years. Buffalo going on damn near 4, 5 with mostly the same pieces, growing together, playing together. It become easy to coach that and for that team to know how to play off of each other. And so I think a lot of times we think about how great offenses play off of each other. We don't really necessarily think about how great defenses play off of each other. But one of the reasons that I've been critical of them getting rid of Leslie Frazier, and one of the reasons that I'm talking about this defense is, and what's my man's name? Jamal Adams. He just went down in this game. I think he concussed. But one of the things I talk about it a lot is because we talk about offenses being in sync and how great they play when they on the same page. Look at Buffalo's defense over the last couple years, bro. Oh, yeah, he just took a shot to the head. He going to be concussed. This is why you shouldn't lead with your head, though. This is exactly why you should not lead with your head. That's not how you taught to tackle. And because he led with his head, he just got kneed in the head, and he probably going to be out for the rest of this game. That is a real shame. But you was not taught to tackle like that. And I don't know when dudes is going to start learning to wrap up and not leading with the head on some of these hit stick type tackles. But I guess continuous amounts of concussions will eventually do the trick. And that's a shame that that's got to be the thing that figure that out. But it is what it is. And I don't want to hear people say, oh, man, you can't tackle without launching at the head. Yes, you can. Yeah, you absolutely can. If you can't make a play without launching yourself in some reckless type of way, then the play wasn't there for you to be made by you. It's plain and simple. And once we understand and embrace that concept, the game will be a lot safer. I see it every week, bro. Y'all get mad because the NFL make the game soft. The players don't care about their health just as much as y'all think the NFL don't. That's what I'm seeing on a weekly basis, at least. But back to Buffalo's defense. And one of the reasons I'm so critical of them getting rid of Leslie is because Leslie helped get this group to where they are. I understand they might still be good with the head coach now running the thing. But that's ignorant in the sense that he only going to be taking credit for what Leslie had already built. This unit won't look bad under him because they already are at a point where, like Golden State, they done been together so long. We need Steve Kerr, but we don't need him micromanaging us every second of the day. We champions. We know what to do. And this to me is that. That's why I think you really got to praise Buffalo's defense over the last couple years and this year, bro. It's to me, Buffalo's defense. And look at how they can get a pass rush without Von Miller. Listen, it's so easy for the media to immediately hop on the penises of Cincinnati. This Taylor Swift thing right now is ridiculous. Do anybody notice in the midst of all this, the Chiefs do not look good? Pat Mahomes had 2 picks last night, 2 bad picks. Could have lost that game. Should have probably lost that game. But let's talk about Taylor Swift. Either way, shout out to my boy Josh Allen. Shout out to the Buffalo Bills. Sometimes I feel like I'm a pseudo Bills fan, but that will never happen because they in the AFC, and I'll never have two teams in the AFC. Just never gonna happen because Lamar Jackson play over there. And so if I were to ever be, it just would make no sense for me to root for Baltimore and then be immediately rooting for another team as my favorite team in the AFC. That's a conflict of interest, which is why it's still weird to me that Henry's two teams both play in the NFC. That is neither here nor there, though. I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. You could be anything in the world. Choose to be kind to somebody today. Make somebody's day for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Like, subscribe, share. I appreciate all the support. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy, scoop her up like I'm raking or something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber, you out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.